Welcome, Julie and Joy. So your Big Summit panel is all about people and talent. And the title of it, Rehumanizing Leadership, I'm pretty intrigued by. So, Julie, I'm going to start with you. Can you give me your quick take, because you guys are doing a panel on this, your quick take and your angle on that?
Sure. So one of the things that I noticed after the pandemic had started to ease up a little bit and people started coming back into the workplace is that I called it, they forgot how to human. Like things that people usually didn't get all that upset over, people were like coming to blows. And I was getting all these calls from my clients that like, this team can no longer communicate, or these two people can't get along, and again, it was stuff that in the past they probably would have let go. But I feel like the pandemic sort of lowered everybody's threshold for frustration and pain, and people just were going from 0 to 160 really, really fast. And so I was getting a lot of calls to come in and basically teach people how to communicate with one another again. And I think that that's the part that we've been missing in this slow slide toward technology, where, there's a lot of benefits to technology and it does great things, but it doesn't allow us to connect on that human level. And I think that has really been a drawback that we're now seeing amplified because during COVID, we were so disconnected from each other.
That 100% makes sense because, we all sheltered in place and then forgot how to, let's sit next to someone. Totally understand that. You've got a slightly different angle on this. Does that sound about right there, Joy?
I think I can resonate with what Julie just shared for sure. When it comes to the work that I'm doing in my own organization and how we're rehumanizing leadership, it does, stem from COVID. But from a little bit of a different lens. We have a dispersed workforce at this point. We've got folks that are based in the Cleveland area and come into the office once or twice a week. And then we have people that live in completely different time zones than us. And this is across the board, regardless of years of experience. We hire junior staff that don't live in Cleveland. We hire executive staff that don't live in Cleveland. And something that was really central to our organizational culture pre-COVID was the fact that we were all human and we were all in the same space. We were able to connect with each other, both about the work that we were doing for our clients, but also connect with each other, to Julie's point, just on a human level. Like, who are the people that I'm working with? Who are the people that I'm spending 40 plus hours a week with, trying to collaborate, trying to, in this very creative environment, create great work? So once we all have, to Julie's point, kind of this slow slide back into what it means to work in this new work world and our workforce being so dispersed, what we've learned is that folks don't know each other. They don't know leadership. They don't know their coworkers outside of the very transactional interactions that we have on a daily basis, that 90% of them are happening through a screen. So when we talk about rehumanizing leadership, or when I'm talking about it, I'm talking about from the very base level of who is this person and what makes them tick and what works for them, what doesn't, how do they communicate, how do they prefer to be communicated with, and being able to get back to the core of we're all humans that are here working toward a collective goal of creating really amazing work for our clients. It's going to be a little bit of a simpler ride getting there when I know the people that are sitting next to me.
I love that. And that speaks a little bit to this. Now, we're missing the third that's going to be in your panel. I need to hold up 3 fingers there instead of 2. In George Sample. Now, but with this, one of the big focuses that we've got this year with the Big Summit is people walking away with actionable items. Julie, do you have just a real short, like one or two sentence example of something where, hey, someone's going to be able to walk back to their company and be like, yep, I can do this tomorrow?
Yeah, I think, and this goes to what Joy was just saying, but finding ways for people to connect on just a personal human level. So getting them out of just talking about work-related things and maybe giving them a reason to have coffee with each other. So maybe have like a coffee challenge where people try to meet with everybody in their office or on their team or whatever the case may be. And it could be virtual if they're not in the same time zone or but it could be virtual or in person, but just, and the goal of that is to not talk about work. So anything but work, just get to know each other on a different level.
I love it. And I am all about the coffee there and definitely all about sitting down with that. From your perspective, Joy, I mean, why is the topic of communication sometimes tough to breach with people like that?
That's actually really great question, Josh. And a lot of the work that we've done as an organization over the last 5 years is about communication specifically. And how do you talk to people that might have a different perspective than yours, come from a different lived experience than yours, etc., but still be able to find the human connection within each other, because at the end of the day, that's what we all are. So from a communication perspective, being courageous and being able to speak what your truth is, share what your experience is, understand that at the end of these conversations that we might be having, there might not be closure. You might not get to the end of this coffee chat that Julie just suggested and feel super connected to this person that you just talked to, but that's okay. It's an ongoing walk toward being connected to one another, not just as coworkers, but as folks that are part of the same community that are working toward the same goals.
Love it. Absolutely love that. Julie, this is the big question here. Why are you excited to be speaking at the big summit?
I think that it's a really important topic. You know, it seems so simple, but we really have lost connections with people, and especially right now with how divided things are, especially like in the political sphere. I think a lot of that is, you know, there's this whole process of othering people. Like, we keep trying to put people in specific buckets. Like, they believe this, so they must also believe all these other things. And I think, you know, what Joy was just saying about getting people to be courageous and to talk to people that they may not normally talk to, or that they may believe they don't have anything in common with, starts to break down those barriers, because you start to realize, oh no, we may not believe all the same things, we may not come from the same world, but we have things in common. We share basic values, we share basic likes, dislikes, things like that, and it starts to help you see that person as a full human instead of whatever category you've tried to put them in.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. With that, Joy, like, if someone's considering attending the big summit, what are you going to tell them besides, hey, come listen to me? What are you going to tell them in terms of why they should be there?
I think, to Julie's point, it's just a really important conversation. I think over the last 4 years, the way that the world looks at work, but definitely the way that this rising generation, which is going to eventually be the majority of our workforce, the way that they look at work is different. And we need to be creating the spaces to have the sorts of conversations that lead to insights that then inform the way that people like me, people like Julie, and hopefully folks that will be coming to listen to what we have to say, the way that we create environments and experiences for them that lead to employees feeling seen, feeling valued, feeling like they belong, like they have equitable opportunity, which in turn gives us engaged talent that wants to create really great work.
Well, I absolutely love it. And I appreciate both of you sharing your insights today. Yours is definitely one that everyone should be attending. Remember, everyone, it is October 15th. We will all see you there. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.